on an all-new Dr. Phil.
The shooting of 19-year-old Jacob Limberius.
Unraveling a mysterious death.
It was labeled suicide. We think you know that it was not a suicide.
I know for a fact that he shot himself.
The science says it couldn't have happened that way. If there's something you know,
There's not.
I have been telling the truth. Jacob did this to himself.
Brittany's your girlfriend. Are you covering for her?
No.
The witnesses agreed to take a polygraph.
I just feel like as if I got set up to do this.
That's offensive.
This is for TV, right?
This is for a boy's life.
What will the tests reveal?
I have the results here. The results are...
Jacob, why are you doing this to me? Why?
It is a tragic and mysterious death that we began to unravel yesterday. The shooting of 19-year-old Jacob Limberius. Jake's family says there was no initial investigation, no autopsy done, and the coroner never even went to the scene. The family says the police simply went by the witness statements that Jacob shot himself in the head. His death was ruled a suicide. But his parents say Jake would have never killed himself, and they believe that someone else shot him that night. Here's a recap of what happened yesterday.
Listen, I need 911. My friend just shot himself in the head. Stay on the line, calm down.
Haunting screams from a night that forever changed the lives of 4 young adults and their families.
My 19-year-old son, Jake, was found dead with a bullet through his head.
3 friends who were with him that night say he shot himself by accident.
Jake had a .357 Magnum revolver.
He picked up the gun. The next thing I know, I hear a really loud shot.
The whole living room shook when he fell.
Jacob is lying in front of me, and blood is coming out of his head.
An officer told me, "I'm sorry, your son is dead." Sorry, guys.
His family believes that it was actually one of them who accidentally shot Jake, but they're afraid to tell the truth.
The family looked at us like we had something to do with this.
His death was ruled a suicide.
I know my son. He would not commit suicide.
This was not a young man with a history of depression.
No.
One of the first suspicious things that we realized at the funeral home is that Jake was shot in the left side of the head, and Jake is right-handed. Things just did not add up. We wanted the coroner to order an autopsy.
The sheriff's department closed the investigation.
And so we made a decision to have Jake exhumed. We approached Dr. Sarah Weck for this autopsy.
Dr. Weck ruled that he couldn't have done it.
There's 2 forensic pathologists that say this is a homicide.
Did you actually see him shoot himself?
Yeah, but I don't remember anything.
If someone shoots themselves in the head, that is an explosion. It is a gunpowder explosion. They leave powder burns. There aren't any. I'm telling the 2 of you, if you do know something, you need to give that up.
None of us had anything to do with your son's death. It just feels like another deposition. It just all.
Are you complaining about them asking you?
I've told the truth from day one. I took the lie detector test. I'll take another one.
We have been telling the truth, and they still don't believe us. Mike, he's caused so much pain. So why do I have to wake up every morning feeling like I want to die?
I want to clear Jake's name from the suicide that's on his death certificate, so his 4-year-old daughter doesn't have to grow up and think that her daddy put a gun to his head.
Michael says that when they couldn't get the coroner to change Jake's death certificate to accidental death, they were forced to exhume Jake's body and have renowned forensic pathologist Dr. Cyril Weck perform an autopsy. Now, Dr. Weck has personally performed more than 18,000 autopsies and has consulted worldwide on more than 38,000 others and is joining us via satellite. Dr. Weck, good to see you again.
Thank you, Dr. Phil. A pleasure to be with you.
Tell us what you have concluded from your studies here.
May I say at the outset, Dr. Phil, that this case is a blatant example of why medical legal investigation is so important and why some coroners and occasionally medical examiners improperly finesse the scene, do not do what is supposed to be done. If you've got 4 people and a shooting occurs, then you've got to go in there right away. You want to interrogate each individual separately. You want to do gunpowder residue swabs of the hands. You want to get the weapon. You want to make sure that you get all the photographs of everybody